great with you today, man? Where your energy at? Today is Mental Health Mondays. I'm not sure what's going on with my phone, but I cannot record videos and go to my library and they're there. So therefore I have to go live. So, oh well, I'm gonna float the universe. And I was thinking, and I'm always thinking, trying to, not even thinking, I'm sitting and allowing it to come to me. Because when we think, when I think, let me speak about me. When I think, most of the time it was coming from a past or traumatic situation, and it was pushing me away from myself. Because the main thing is about acceptance, transforming the way you look at yourself. Another way we can transform myself is, are we dealing with low T, low tolerance? Like, is our tolerance for other people, meaning the ability, but we're not willing to allow them just to be themselves. We want to change it. We want to adjust it. We want to, what's the word I'm going to say? We want to avoid what they're doing because it activates something in us. So when other people aggravate me, I realize it's not them. It's me within myself not tolerating a behavior I see in somebody else. So now I start rejecting myself because I'm not tolerating it. Meaning I'm not allowing myself to feel what I'm feeling. And I'm recognizing if we don't allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling, we're missing that healing. We're missing that opportunity to engage an emotion within a body. And then when we're in that emotional body, go back to it. We have four different bodies. We got a physical body, we got a emotional body, we got a mental body, and a spiritual body. So now emotional body is woke, and it want to taste you somewhere. It wakes up when you feel something, especially when you don't want to feel it. You resist it. Um, um, you not only do you resist it, you start feeling guilty about it because now you start judging yourself. And we're so quick to get in a judgmental type of place because we're trying to think our way out the mud. We can't think our way out the mud because that thinking got us in the mud. We got to feel what's going on in our body. And once we feel what's going on in our body, let me pause for a second time out. When a thought comes up and that emotion um, kidnaps our consciousness, we can't outthink ourselves out of that. That's why I teach a lot of my clients how to breathe and visualize. If you realize that your thought is caught up in something, if you pause and look at five things in your surroundings, your environment. When we do that, I see a cactus, I see the sky, I see a city in. Oh, I see myself. When I do that, that gets me out of my thinking and back in the present moment. What holds the present moment is our body. So getting back to what I was saying, low tolerance. We walking around with patience for people, meaning we're giving them a timeline or a deadline to do something or take the initiative to doing something that we didn't have a conversation with them having. And when they don't do it, we get upset with them saying, I gave you this time, I gave you that time. But who are you to put a deadline on somebody else's evolution? Who are you to put a deadline on somebody else seeing themselves? Do you have any idea what kind of trauma they're growing through? So what we should do is stop instead of judging from the outside without adequate information or knowledge. Let's have a conversation and ask people what's going on. And when you ask them what's going on, give them that time, give them that space to actually answer. With me being having my mental issue, when you come to me and say I should do, that triggers something in me. If you come to me and say the same thing, you ever thought about or have you ever done instead of assume that you're not because certain words have an energy when you should on people, that's a judgment. That's making the energy that you're giving off from your energy vibration. We can feel that. We know a lot of times people don't realize when you have a mental health issue, you're more in tune. You're more in tune. Other people, they're the ones that's kind of off because they're caught in the figment of their imagination. My concussion, it helped me actually to not only see reality but actually feeling reality. Think about it. If you could not see, and could only feel, your judgment will be totally different. It won't be based on what you're seeing. It'll be based on what you're feeling. So when we base something on our vision, our tolerance is automatically exasperated because we're judging something outside of ourselves. If we took that same energy, that same time, and went on the inside and start allowing ourselves to feel where that judgment is coming from and what's activating it. Because we always saying trigger this and trigger. That's not triggered. You deactivated it when you compartmentalize or act as if it wasn't going on. So it's just sitting there in your heart. Because remember, we're energy. If energy can't expand what it naturally wants to do, it kind of rolls up in itself in a ball and it keeps circling around on the inside of it. So it might be laying dormant, but as soon as a feeling, it could be a scent, it could be something that you see, activates that, then that feeling comes alive, your body has waken up to what you compartmentalize. That's the perfect opportunity for you to release that feeling. And how you release it, you allow yourself, it's like shadow meditation. Shadow meditation is a feeling comes up, I allow myself to feel that feeling without judging, without resisting, without turning my back on it. And I actually just sit and allow it to show me where it comes from. When I get to the cause of it, I say, can you please release me? Because I no longer need this energy to help me survive. When we increase our tolerance, we come out of survival mode. When we change our breathing from nose to mouth to nose, we come out of survival mode. Survival mode is that limbic system, that reptilian part of the brain that deals with behavior and emotional responses. So if our body is behaving from an emotion, if our body is behaving from a behavior, how can we outthink that? That's the issue. We're trying to use mind over matter to outthink what our body's doing. And you wonder why you so upset and so anxious because you can't outthink the body. The body holds the memory. The body was inside that womb, breathing liquid, didn't have no light. It remembers that the body does, the mind doesn't. So which one you think you're gonna trust? The body that's made up of matter of the mind. It's matter over mind. Cause when the body's going in the ground and that mind has turned back to where it came from, the matter is still there. Just you can't see it. It matters. Can you see the air right now? If you're in South Florida, it's not cold. Can you see the air that you're inhaling and exhaling? No, you can't, but you believe in that. It's the same thing. The spirit is just like that, invisible. You can't see it, but you can feel it. You're housing it. So if you're looking for it outside of you, you don't understanding it. That's what happened when they're low T because we're so busy looking outside, we're not giving no time for us to look on the inside. So we can always change this, because I ain't gonna say me, I'm always speaking about what happened in my family and the DNA, but the DNA is only 26% of our behavior. Our environment is the other 74%. So we control our environment. That will increase our tolerance. That will increase our patience. And really, it's going to increase our self love, our self value, our self esteem. When I had low self esteem, it came from, remember, self esteem is how you feel about yourself. It comes from that internal conversation from you not tolerating yourself because you make a mistake, you don't do something the way you think it should be done. You're badgering yourself. You're beating yourself. Well, somebody else do it, you don't appreciate it. Why are you doing it for yourself? When you start to tolerate yourself and allow yourself to feel how you feel, regardless of how it show up, and when it does show up, you don't judge it, but you sit with it and allow it to show you the cause of it. Then when you get to the cause of it, you're going to swallow your pride and say, please, can you release me? That's almost a little bit of ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. And I love you. So when we say these things, these words carry a vibration. Our cells don't know right, wrong, left, or right. It just knows a feeling. The subconscious only knows a feeling. If I feel it, it must be real. If we look at it this way, if we look at the conscious mind as the male and the subconscious mind as the female, let me see if this will paint a different picture. So the male is so-called the more powerful one, so it protects the female. But when the male allows that feeling to get past him and the female receives that, she becomes impregnated with that feeling and she believes that it's real. The she is the subconscious mind and the he is the conscious mind. But when these two marry, when the male and female come together, the yin and the yang, your masculine and feminine energy within yourself, you become married within. That void becomes to be filled. We're looking for so much stuff outside of ourselves. Let me put this back. I was looking for so much stuff outside myself, whether it be activities, whether it be women, whether it be drugs, whether it be drinking, whether it be entertainment, whether it be social media. I was looking for that dopamine hit. 'Cause I wasn't feeling good within myself. I didn't have excitement, so I needed something outside of me to give me that dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that makes you move. It's motivation. At the core of dopamine is movement. So you want to be able to move in pleasure. So we're thinking that something outside of us has to supply that dopamine. Did you know if you smile, your brain actually releases a natural dopamine and other neuropeptides, endorphins, that allows your body to move naturally when you allow your dopamine to actually lower to a normal rates. You can actually hmm, you can actually nurture the relationship you have with yourself. If you're going through relationship problems, if you're going through family problems, the main thing is the relationship you're having with yourself is spilling out in your outside world. We're too busy pointing the finger. I get it from my mama. I get it from my daddy. This is how we are. No, that's how you want to be because it's comfortable. Yeah, if you're gonna be uncomfortable, you might as well evolve while you're doing it. Take control of your body without letting your body control you. Take control of your thoughts. Get out of that stinking thinking. What you thinking for? That leads to procrastination. That leads to you being stagnated. You ruminating over different things that are not going to empower you. Get up. Move. Show that your subconscious is the body. Your brain, your thinking can take you to Mars, to Jupiter, to Alaska, to Hawaii, but the physical body is still here. So we live in that dream world, and it's not tapped into reality. Oh man, you hurting yourself more than you helping yourself because you're not healing with reality. And soon as something in reality contradicts that constraint in your mind, you off. Stop trying to be balanced. Become centered. When you flowing, it's not about balance. It's about centeredness. When you center yourself, balance is natural to happen. When you flowing, you want to find a centeredness. Centeredness is for the spirit. Balance is for the flesh. Get in your spirit. Get out of all these fleshly habits that's controlling you, not recognizing. The brain is a good slave, but it's not a good master. Your master is the flesh. So on mental wellness Mondays, and the reason why I changed to wellness, because wellness has 8 components. We got emotional, we got environment, we got financial, we got occupational, we got physical, we got intellectual, we got social, and we have spiritual. Are we checking all these boxes off? Is our wellness intact? Who are we talking to? What are we reading to increase our knownness about what we're feeling? Who's in my environment? Are the walls in my house a nice color? Is my house full of clutter? If my house is full of clutter, that shows my mind is full of clutter. Unclutter your house, unclutter your mind. When's the last time you just sat down and allowed yourself just to truly feel what your body wanted and not what your mind is telling you? Because if you're yearning for something outside yourself, that's mostly your mind talking. But if you sit still and you become content within yourself and marry these two energies and stop feeling like you're at war within yourself. I remember Ricky Williams taught me a very good lesson when he first started his meditation courses long time ago at Nova Southeastern. I had the perception that I was at war with myself. So we're perceiving I'm at war. That means I gotta get you before you get me. What kind of energy is that? What kind of perception are you having every time somebody's saying something? I gotta get you before you get me. That's strictly survival mode. That's strictly shadow talk. If you're thinking that everywhere you go, your life is in danger, your shadow is running you. If you start with what if or maybe this, that's anxiety talking. You start off, oh, you know what? I can't do that. Oh man, you are killing your self-esteem. That's just like you going out there and sticking your tire with a knife and then come out wondering why your tire flat. And then come out tomorrow and bust your windshield. And you're like, dang, why my windshield get bust? You're doing this to yourself and you're looking for someone else to blame. Take accountability for your shit. Stop playing the victim. When you say fuck it, you say, you know what, fuck it. I'ma feel that unfinished clock knowing within myself for my peace, God, intuitive transformation, my inner transformation. So when we increase our tolerance, we're looking at the world from a different energy. We're not looking at the world like I gotta get them before they get me. We're looking at the world because every situation, every song, every person is here to teach us something. If we're mentally available to receive that, we want inspiration, we want insight, but we're so caught up in our mind. If you are a creator, if you know that you're innovative, that you can create things, why you can't create something to give you what you need? If you want finances, stop thinking that you're broke and think about how can I create these finances? Law of attraction. If you think it, you can be it. Visualize it. Visualize it. See yourself with what you want right now. Feel as if you have it already. It's in the feeling. When you feel as if you have it already, it will manifest. Remember, that subconscious is the feminine energy in us. It's the subconscious. So when the female energy, the feminine, the subconscious, the body feel as if it's real, it's going to manifest. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something that I'm experiencing. When you when you connect with that source within, the stuff that you believe couldn't happen, you're gonna start knowing that it does happen, and it manifests in front of you. It manifests in front of you. I had dreams but years ago becoming a Reiki instructor and helping people, and that's what I'm doing because I put one foot in front of the other. Just because you're not doing it right now, that don't mean you failing. It's just not your time right now. You can't force it. Spirituality, this is not like you're going to school, getting a PhD or a MD. It don't matter how many years you meditate. It don't matter how many years you've been spiritual. If you're not applying it and you're not living it, it doesn't matter. It's not based on time. You can meditate for 20 hours a day in 13 minutes. If you're not actually doing and feeling what you're feeling, you're procrastinating in a meditative stance. It's about receiving that message and moving with it. Anybody can sit, but can you stand for what you believe in? Can you walk for what you know in? We need to start dropping this belief and getting with a knowing. Because we believe that every time I exhale I can inhale. That's not always true. We think everything is important until we realize it isn't. The most valuable thing that we have in our life right now is the ability to breathe. Think about it, the ability to breathe. If you was a billionaire, you had all the houses you want, you had all the businesses that you want, everything was successful, and you couldn't breathe. You took one breath in, and that next breath would not come. What would you be thinking about? Would you be thinking about your finances? Would you be thinking about your husband or your wife? Would you be thinking about your cars? Would you be thinking about your property? No. You'll be thinking about, I want that next breath. So breathe every breath like it should last. Because what's guaranteed is one day it will be. So live your life right now because you never know when you exhale and can never inhale again. Everything outside you in the world is gonna be there when you here and after you gone. Think about somebody in your family that got out of their body and went back to their creator. Life still goes on. Them bills still keep coming. That stress, anxiety is still here. The way to get rid of that anxiety, which is inside pressure, is to work on tolerating yourself a whole lot more, regardless of how you show up. If you show up in that mood where you stuck in the mud and you're not feeling good about yourself, you feeling icky, you feeling aggressive, you feeling angry, you worried, you got insomnia, that's because that inside pressure. What are you thinking that building that inside pressure up? Outside stress is cool because it helps you. Outside stress is a pressure. Outside stress is what makes a diamond. That's pressure. Outside pressure what helps a running back get to the touchdown because he don't want the defense tackling. That's pressure. But the anxiety, that's inside pressure. If you by yourself and you dealing with anxiety, what are you doing inside yourself to cause that pressure? And not only that, what are you going to do? Because anxiety is caught up in thinking. So if I'm thinking something, I got pressure built up in me. How you going to escape that? Easy. You going to pause. You going to breathe. And you going to find 5 things that you can look at in your surrounding to bring you back to the present moment, which is your body. And the more we do that, we can start tolerating ourselves regardless of what mood we show up in. We can't always be in a joyful mood. No, man. But when we show up in the opposite of joyful, can we love ourselves then unconditionally? If we can love ourselves then, imagine how much more love we can exude on other people when we love ourselves when we're joyful. It's only temporary. Like the weather in Fort Lauderdale, man, it can be raining at 9 o'clock, and at 9:15 it can stop. It don't last all day. Like I said earlier, the sky is the sky, with or without clouds. You are the sky, and the clouds are the thought that just merely floating through. Don't hang on to them clouds. Be the sky. And when you become the sky, you just sit there and allow stuff to pass through you. Your tolerance is in full capacity working. Your nerves will be a whole lot better. You won't be so worried. You won't be angst. You'll be able to relax, lower your shoulders. You have a lot more compassion for people because you can remember when you was caught up in that energy. Because we all energy in that energy of angst, that energy of worry, that energy of low self-esteem, the energy of doubt. I've been there. Just because the outside is attractive, that don't mean we can't have low self-esteem. That don't mean we can't have self-doubt. Because remember, that comes from inside. So if I'm inside feeling that, guess what's gonna happen? That subconscious, which is the female inside me, it's gonna get become impregnated with that and believe it. The male is the consciousness, and the female is the subconsciousness. And when you marry them two together, see what that synchronicity, you become one. We're thinking it's separate. So that's why tolerance is all because we're thinking inside it's a separation. No, it's a oneness. When we become one within, we're able to allow everything to happen within us. Just like the Most High does. Everything happens within the Most High. The Most High is unconditional love. Everything happens in love. So when you're walking, you want to be in love. When you talking, you want to be in love. When you breathe, you want to breathe in love. And you want to make sure that you are in control of where your energy at. You are the sum total of where your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your consciousness goes. And wherever it goes, whatever it's feeding, it's gonna grow. What is your consciousness feeding? And if it's feeding low vibration energy, that's the melodrama, that's your pain body. That unfinished energy, that trauma is sucking out of you. So we're able to sit still and feel something. If we're with somebody else, it's not something they're doing. They're activating something in you. And it's time for you to release it. It's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to stop clinging. I did it. You can do it. Only thing makes me different than you, I changed my consciousness, belief about myself. 13 concussions from age 4. It's not bragging, just saying that if I can do it, you damn sure can do it. Trauma. That trauma is the fuel that helps that fire keep going. Everybody got a fire. What's fueling it? Trauma was fueling my fire for a while. That I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove you wrong. You don't know me like that. All that fueling that fire. But how much energy is it taking from you to fuel your fire? When I change that energy and replace it with unconditional love and allow unconditional love, the universe to flow through me, oh man, they ain't do nothing. And the fire started raging. Then people became attracted in that vortex and want healing. The best way to become a healer, you have to heal your own trauma. You have to experience. For me, it's the feeling. When you feel it and you experience it and you so-called rational with it, you're able to heal it because you're acknowledging I'm holding on to old trauma that I believed was me. Now when I recognize it and I know it's not me, guess what? I can release it. I can let it go. I can redefine myself. The law of the mind states, in order for me to drive something out, I gotta replace it with something. Think about Lego blocks. If I got one block here, I'm gonna take this block out. I gotta put something back in. If I don't go by empty space, it's gonna collapse. So if I want to take out a low belief system, guess what I gotta replace it with? A knowing system. We got to resurrect the spirit within us. Resurrection means to bring back in view. Bring back in view that consciousness that resides in all of us. If you dig down deep and go through all that mud, go through all that victimhood, go through all that trauma, go through the beliefs, at the core of what you are, you're not hurt. You're not traumatized. It's a belief that I believe. I believed I was traumatized. I believed I was wrong. And once those come back up, I'm able to reevaluate them with a higher wisdom, with a higher authority, realizing everything that happened to me was fueling my fire to get to where I am right now today. So my emotional wellness is wonderful. My environmental wellness is a heaven to me. My financial, whoa, because it's a money mentality we have to have. We think broke, we will be broke. You're not broke. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective. My occupational wellness. Oh man, I'm a health and wellness coach. I deal with energy medicine because I healed myself from the inside out. Reiki, Qigong, the way we breathe, boxing to get you back in that body, stretching, clean those chakras, those energy wheels, where those old traumas hide in that. Occupational, doing what I love, and I get paid for that. That is so wonderful, helping me and other people. My physical, which is physical fitness. When we feeling icky, we feeling low, we not liking our body, we gotta move. We gotta breathe, we gotta be, we gotta move that old energy out. We gotta get that lactic acid moving at those muscles. Oh man. And then my social, who am I hanging with? I hang with people who don't let me be a bullshitter. I hang with people who make me be mindful of my words. I hang with people who make sure I'm being the highest spiritual being that I can be. And then my spiritual well-being is your spiritual wellness. I'm looking within me to resolve those beliefs that had me on such a low vibration. That ego spirit. When a crow is on the eagle's back, he don't get upset. He don't shake it off. He flies higher. In that higher altitude of air, the crow's brain can't function on that. So what happened? He passed out and automatically just falls down to his level. So if you got crows on your back, ask yourself, why are you flying so low? Fly higher. Yeah. Only thing about flying high, you up there by yourself. And when you up there by yourself, it makes you fly back down them crows at because it's lonely. You ain't got nobody to talk to. That's where that work is at. Talk to yourself. If you feeling lonely, that means you in bad company with yourself. Get to know you. When you get to know you, you're gonna enjoy being that eagle soaring by yourself. And after a while, guess what? As you keep flapping and keep flying, You're gonna run into some other eagles. And when you do, you're gonna become a tribe of eagles and y'all gonna fly together. So are you being a crow and flying low with low tolerance? Or are you being an eagle flying high up there where it's lonely, you up there by yourself, just vibing? I ain't here to judge. That's for you to tell, to say to yourself. Yeah, man. Questions, combat, comments, feedback. I'm here for this. Drop your comments down low. If you feeling something, if you thinking something. Oh, I had to get that off my chest. It was on my chest for a minute. Yeah, man. Where your energy at, man? Where your energy at? What's up? Love yourself, man, right where you are. And when you start loving yourself, you're gonna be that new blueprint or example of how people gonna show you love. Don't be a crow. Be that eagle. Fly high and fly by yourself. And get used to that. Namaste, thug. True heart under God. Peace.